Cheers. All right, what's up, everybody? My name's Lou Mealy, and today we're going to do a beat making / beat mixing tutorial. Something along those lines, I guess. All right, so I started off with a drum loop that I created. I'm going to take off my processing just to show you what that sounds like, bare bones. So here it is. It's got a nice swing to it, primarily from these hi-hats right here. Yeah, so let's go through the processing that I put on it. It's very minimal processing, but it makes a huge difference in the sound. So first I added this right here. This is the leveling tool, ADHD Audio Tools leveling tool. It is a compressor. I put this on basically all of my drum loops or drum buses. So that's a little before and after. As you can tell, it adds a nice punch. It brings the drums more in your face, which is what we want with boom bap hip hop. And the best part about this plugin is it is free to my knowledge when I got it. It probably still is free, so that's awesome. Definitely go check this out. Leveling Tool by ADHD Audio Tools. So now I'm going to go to my next plugin, That Thing by Beat Skills. Another one of my go-to plugins, specifically for drums. I don't know, it adds a really nice flavor to it. So I'm going to let you listen before and after, and then I'm gonna explain this plugin. So here's before. And here's after. All right, cool. So basically this is a multi-effects plugin. That's the title that I'm going to give it. And the first effect that it gives you is a chorus effect. So we're going to increase this wet fader. And if you're listening with headphones or studio monitors, which I would recommend, it's making the sound a lot more stereo. And I'm going to increase this stereo field. And as you can hear, it just completely widens the sound. But for this drum loop, obviously I'm going to have this stereo minimized just because of the kick. I don't want that kick to sound too wide. I want that dead center. So I like to just give a little more than minimum, just for a little widening. I'm going to bring that depth down again, closer to minimum. And I have the frequency all the way up just to give the high frequencies a bit of stereo width. And then I'm going to bring this wet fader back down just so you can hear the effect a little bit. So the next part of this plugin, which I absolutely love, is this noise. Basically, you can add noise and mix it in. So right now I have a forest sound. You could do like radio tuning sounds, birds and bees, cafe ambience. So it just adds a nice little background noise. This would really be good for like lo-fi kind of music. I like to add it to my drum loops just to give it a little flair. What you can also do is like vinyl sounds. It has a lot of vinyl sounds, a lot of vinyl crackle that you can add and mix in. But for this one I liked Forestry. Gives it a nice little stomp kind of sound. So the third part of this plugin are the filters. To be honest, I don't really like the high cut filter because I feel like it cuts too much of the highs, even at like the top level. But I guess it could be used good for like transitions. But what I like to use more is the low cut filter, just to add breaks and different transitions in songs. That sounds really good. But just for these purposes, I'm going to leave that off. And this is That Thing by Beat Skills, one of my staples. And then I added a nice little EQ just to boost that low end, cut a little of that mud out at 250, cut a little 2K out, increased a little 6K, and increased a little bit of high end. So here's a before and after of this EQ. Just beefs it up a little bit, tightens up the sound. All right, cool. So next I'm gonna go to these bells. I'm using Anna 2 with by Slate Digital. I'm sorry, Anna 2 by Slate Digital. It's an awesome synthesizer. I'm gonna name this bells. So automatically I added an EQ with a high pass filter and a low pass filter. Restricted the sound. And here is one of my tools that I use for melodics. I put pedal board. If you're using Logic, you go to amps and pedals and then pedal board. So within pedal board, you can go to these, you can go to this menu, complete pedal boards, and then you can select these presets. So I'm just going to go through a few of them just to show you. As you can tell, there's a bunch of sounds to go through, a bunch of different sounds. I like classic country. Awesome. So then I added another EQ just to cut off that low end, bring down some of that mud just so it fit in better with the beat. I'm going to bring back these drums. Yeah, so it's got some cool movement. So now I added an 808 with the same plugin, Anna 2 synthesizer by Slate Digital. I would highly recommend Slate Digital plugins. I love them. I use them all the time for my mixing. And I kind of am pissed at myself for not getting into it earlier, but here we are. So here's the 808. I added another pedal board just because I duplicated the sound, ended up going with that, but I like the way that it moved. I added a wider. I made it sound wide, but then I added another EQ on top of that. So I can bring in the mids and do some mid-side processing. So only the mids would pass through and cut off at this point. Oops. Okay, so that, and then I added another EQ, which is another filter. It's a low pass filter, so yeah, control that high end, but then just gives it such a nice bottom. So I basically duplicated that, as you're about to hear in a second, with another 808, just to give it a different section, basically. So this could be a verse or the chorus, depending what I or the artist would want to use. But just to give it a little different vibe. All right, cool. So after doing that, after doing that, I added one more instrument, which is a trumpet. With a pedal board once again. It just gives it a lot of movement. The specific one I chose for this one is Wiggle Room. Increase it a little more just so you could hear it. Yeah, so that's about it. Obviously it needs some more. Honestly, it sounds good just the way it is, just from adding all that stuff. It could use a little more processing, some time-based effects, like reverb and delay, I think would be a good addition to this. Also some like panning and automation, volume automation. But this sounds fantastic the way it is. Somebody could rap on this right now and it could be put out and nobody would really tell the difference, honestly. But yeah, it's sounding really good. That just shows you what a little bit of pedal board effects and EQ and compression can do. Yeah, so this just needs arrangement now, and it needs a rapper to rap on it, and that's about it. So I hope you enjoyed watching. My name is Lou Mealy once again. Leave a comment if you want to see and hear more stuff like this. I'm definitely happy to help people out with questions, any questions you have. And I look forward to making more videos like this. Once again, leave a comment, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, please share with your friends, and have a good one.